You are listening to the Hello Sport Podcast.
What's up, punters and dribblers? Welcome back to the Hello Sport Podcast, the home of unqualified opinion and unwavering bias. Coming to you a little later today on a Monday. We do apologise. We are known for our punctuality and promptness with all things, specifically the show. A little delayed today, playing hurt, back from the Goldie, huge weekend and that. But back nonetheless, and credit to us for being back.
Listen, you know, most people wouldn't be back, Tom.
Correct.
That's what you need to realise.
Most people would have called in, said they had diarrhea, made something up.
And packed it up.
Yep.
But not your old mates Tom and Eddie, who come back with love in their hearts, Tom.
Love in their hearts, and optimism. I guess a joie de vivre, Eddie. I believe that's French
right,
for joy in that joy of life, joy in your heart, joy fucking something.
Joie de vie.
Joie de vie.
Joie de vie. Joie de vie.
We got a bit of a joie de vie about us.
A bit of joie de vie.
Because what we did, right, it was a fucking big weekend. But we sucked the marrow out of life. I believe the great Ronnie Blakey says that from sometimes. We sucked the marrow out of the bastard.
Yeah. Yep. Lost marrow.
Correct.
Shout out to Ronnie Blakey and shout out to sucking the marrow out of things because that's what we did in earnest on the Goldie. Alpha Blokes put on one hell of an event. Podcast Royale 2.0, Thomas.
Yep.
You and I are tasked with commentary once more.
Accompanied by the great and the powerful Isaac, the head splitter Hardman.
That's right. We've made a new friend, Tom.
Yeah, we have.
We've made a new friend, Isaac Hardman, a terrific bloke.
We didn't get to say goodbye to him, so if you're listening, Splitter, thanks again.
Thanks again, mate. A real zest for life, Splitter.
Joie de vivre.
Exactly. Plenty of zest, plenty of joie de vivre in Splitter.
Yeah.
Who, by his own admission, hadn't done a heap of that sort of work, but...
Neither had we, so it was all good.
And he fit in. He fit in well, you know? He got the tempo, he got the tone, he got the flavour.
He picked it up quick.
Oh, fuck yeah. Well, I mean, one of the first things he said is, I go, Splitter, how's the footwork? Dog shit, he said.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Something else he said earlier.
Yeah, there's something else he said that we won't, you know. There's something else he said that we kept telling people about, which was funny, but I won't talk about it.
It's not worth it. But
if you go back and listen to it, you might pick it up.
hear it. Splitter was great. Great fun. Good to have him on board. And just generally, in terms of a night in terms of just a night, and I mean this with the the utmost respect. I mean this as a compliment. That whole event is like a circus, like a chaotic circus.
That seems to work somehow.
Oh, it works, but it's like a freak show.
Yeah. No, it is. There's a lot going on.
There's a lot going on.
You know, there's biffs, there's blind men fighting, there's
nudity,
people doing monos on KTMs,
mullets.
There's people trying to auction off thongs, there's ring girls, there's
shoeies,
there's old
ruies.
blokes with, vulgar poems about...
Well, he also looked like he was in his final throes of life.
You know.
Throwing out like some real rogue poems.
About fannies. Yeah, like that sort of thing.
Even the term fanny, I think, getting around, it feels a bit off.
Yeah. Well,
he said it, not us. We're repeating it, but we're just telling you what happened. We are merely a conduit to the past.
We are a conduit to the past, Tom. It was rogue. It was wonderful. It was, circus-like. It was carny. It was a carny.
It was carny
feel.
shit.
It was a carny feel.
It was carny shit.
Which again is a compliment of the highest order.
Yeah.
Because it works.
Yeah.
Don't know how, but it does.
Yeah. And again, just an honour to be commentating again once more. Now, obviously, our boy Street Fighter Street didn't get the dub.
No.
He went down to Liam Moore, who, great style of a bloke, put on a hell of a show. Slickness.
Fuck yeah.
Slickness with dem hands.
Oh, he was slick, the kid. You saw it in the first couple of punches he threw.
Listen,
but
he
full
fucking
credit
went.
to Street, who wore plenty in the first round, came back with honour and vigour.
We will get Streety
and
on.
substance.
maybe on the Thursday pod we might just get him on the blower. If he can come in, he can come in. But he wore him in the first round. I think the second and third were pretty close. I think he lost, but I think they were pretty close. I think he made a fight of it.
Oh,
he made it a scrap.
Oh, no, he made a scrap of it. No doubt about that. Kid made a scrap of it. And
he didn't get KO'd, which obviously after you were like, listen, let's not ever repeat.
Well, things are improving.
Yeah.
For the Hello Sport crew. We've gone from knockout, brutal, to just a loss.
Yep.
You know?
Close loss.
Close loss.
Proud loss.
Liam too good, too slick, too clean with it. But Street, hell of a performance. We're proud as punch. Never really understood that saying. I've never eyeballed a bit of punch and thought, geez, that punch looks proud, but maybe it's a proud liquid. I'm not sure.
Listen, I don't know, mate. I couldn't tell you. I'm not in the business of trying to dissect that motherfucker right now, mate. I don't have it in me.
I'm merely musing.
I don't have it in me.
I didn't know that liquids were proud, but there you go. But we are proud as punch of Streety.
Yep.
Who took plenty, but gave plenty back.
Tell you what I found funny is people thought he was on the juice because of how jacked he is. And I'm like, listen, one thing you got to understand is there are photos that I could fucking find quite easily of Streety with a six-pack as a child in primary school, as like a fucking 7-year-old. He has been ripped his entire life. And then he I think he was like maybe 79 kilos when he got in. He blew out maybe to like 90 something, I think he said, 93. Not like just before the fight, but just like in generally. And I remember like, being like, oh fuck, Streety's lost it, in terms of like, we're all like, when's this guy going to lose it?
Yeah.
And then he just obviously, he trained his ass off for the last 2 months and he's just completely stacked again. Like, it's insane.
Well, because by his standards, he did blow out.
Yes.
Exactly.
And I must reiterate, by his standards.
But we've always said privately that the kid
behind his back,
the kid does one sit up and he's fucking ripped again.
Yeah.
Now,
strains for a poo.
Now, I'm not saying that he didn't train his ass off, because he did, but he got particularly ripped.
He trained his ass off, but I don't think that anyone. Well, you and I certainly wouldn't get that ripped training just as hard for that amount of time.
No, I wouldn't.
He has it in him.
Yes.
And those weigh-in photos when he's like fucking gone the full flex, he was all G'd up.
Well,
I'm just like jaw to the floor sort of stuff.
Well, they were breathtaking. They were breathtaking photos.
Now, Liam looked good too, and I mean physically, obviously looked good in the ring, but like it was the hot boy fight of the night.
And I would say probably maybe I'm biased, but I think it was the fight of the night.
I think it was the fight of the night. I think it was like certainly the best boxing. I was so fucking nervous.
Look at that.
God, I'd kill for a six-pack one day. Never happened. We get it. Unless I get on the TRT. Sorry, just taking that in again. We're all just taking Streety's physique in. But I mean, again, Liam Moore, a sight to behold as well.
Take it in, Tom.
Just take it all in.
Take it in. Because, I mean, that's in stark contrast to the Tums we saw on the night, Tom.
Well, it was a night for Tums, mostly.
It was almost a Tum showcase.
But that's sort of what you expect.
Which is what you would expect, exactly. But I'm merely bringing that up to give credit to our boys and how ripped they got.
Yeah, they did. Anyway, he went down valiantly. He lost with class.
Yep.
Gave a great speech at the end. They had a good hug out. We didn't get to session with Liam and the boys. It was basically, by the time we got done doing it, it was a bit too far, it felt.
Well, it was too far gone.
It was too far gone.
It was too far gone.
Before you know it, it's 1 a.m. and you're in someone's room in a casino and you're not moving.
Nah. You might be moving for a lunger.
But I've planted me roots. And I'm not.
No, I think roots were pretty firmly planted by 10 p.m. Really, yeah. If you want to get fair income about it.
Shout out to Sammy George for taking us to a quiet pub.
Yeah,
straight after the fight, which was right in the middle of the fucking casino, and the lines were the waits would be like. 50
well, they
minutes.
were biblical, but I made my peace with it.
No, so did I. But it was
good to see Sammy looking big.
Great to see Sammy. Well, Sammy's always looking jacked.
He looked particularly big. Oh, I thought.
Oh, he put me in a chokehold at the UFC.
So you felt him.
I felt his strength.
You felt him.
He came up behind me and got me rear naked and scared the fuck out of me.
Yeah. Okay. I didn't realise you've had his arms
No,
around you.
I thought I was getting killed. But it was still a nice opportunity to see the Rose brothers because that's the circles we're in now.
Well, the Rose brothers were there.
We just mix it. We bumped into the Roses.
Terrific styles of blokes.
Yeah, they are. Love them. I kept telling George, I was going, bruh, Manly's up. He's like, do not fucking tell me the score until the game's over.
He was, he can get superstitious.
I get it.
Big fella.
Well, he's a Manly fan. He understands that no lead is defendable or is unassailable.
No, well, particularly when Manly's
That's what I'm talking about.
But we'll get to that.
Yeah.
Shout out to Tommy and Cam for putting it all together. Tommy got a big win.
Yeah.
Good to see that
Great
his
win.
popularity isn't waning, Tom.
Bro, the sound of that bloody crowd full of carnies, the Alpha Blokes Collective, or cult as they call them, mate, they love him.
Yeah.
And they love Tommy and Cam. Cam opted to put the gloves away.
Yeah, one and done.
Fair call.
Get it.
One's enough.
Understand it. Tommy back in there again, popularity not
Just
waning.
The
and looked good.
Roaring. Oh, no, he looked good.
Looked better than last year even, I think.
Well, you'd want to, mate. He's got he trained.
Great
He's got
point.
the ring in the bloody office. He's got the bags.
It's a great point.
Boxing bags.
It's a great point. Boys look good.
Cass, CEO of Alpha Events, Knuckler, Buster, everyone involved.
Knuckles' backflip was funny.
That man is a different breed.
Yeah.
He's on a flight to Tasmania.
Doesn't stop that bloke.
He kicks off Wednesday for him last week, rips and tears, and it's like down to Tassie for something else, and he's up here for something else, and he's off to the fucking Formula One in Monaco. I'm like, this cunt does
not stop. Doesn't take a breath.
No.
Chaos. Shout out to him.
I see his schedule, and like, because we went and we had a huge night Saturday afterwards, celebrating Street. My wife kept messaging me going, what's the play? Where are you? So I'm like, we're just still out celebrating Streety, doll.
Yeah.
We're just celebrating.
We're celebrating Hamish.
We're celebrating Hamish. I don't know when that ends. Who knows when you stop celebrating Hamish?
When you get a feeling.
Yeah, and that feeling was the sun and the chirp and the birds start to make noises that indicate daylight is imminent.
Yes. They let you know.
You're fucking up.
Well, they just go, listen, mate, in case you'd forgotten.
Yeah, you have to catch a flight soon to come back to Sydney.
How was your trip back?
Awful.
Was it?
Awful.
Yeah.
Awful.
Tough carry with the kids.
Awful.
Yeah.
God, praise be to my wife who allowed me to be a piece of shit for the whole time. Like, I did the things I had to do. I knew, like, packing and unpacking cars and shit, loading bags, heavy lifting, fucking, just some certain things that I had to do. But outside of that, I was like, listen, please I need a cheerleader today. I need someone to be like, you're all good. I need a fucking cheerleader.
Yep.
Problem was, little Hazel Holiday, heard of her?
Mm.
She's hit a little thing we like to call a sleep regression, Edward. And you know when she decided to hit it? Saturday night, up every 2 hours.
Fair income.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So Steph was tired, but Steph hadn't been up until 5 a.m. She had a couple of kips in between.
Yes.
Different.
You've had more sleep.
Way more sleep. So I didn't really get much either once I got to bed.
Right. So that's how how it was determined.
I didn't make any determination like that because I thought that would just be that would cause trouble.
I was going to say you didn't bring up.
You don't compare.
No, well,
you don't. This isn't a super fun day.
That would have been bold. Exactly. No. Actually, just on that, on super.
Yeah.
You know that.
Yeah.
Well, so Jarch and I are on the same flight, right? And we're walking through the airport in Sydney, and he walks past like.
And so for people listening, you're doing the from little things, big things
grow, like the little hand, the super thing. He walked past it, looked at it, and did the hands to it, and then kept walking. I go, did you just do the hands? He goes, yeah. I go, why? He goes, I don't know. He goes, I like to do it. I go, right.
What do you mean you walk past it?
There was a sign, like an advertisement for it.
But so he just does
And he
that?
looked up at it and did it. I go, he didn't say anything to me, he just did it. I go, that was fucking strange what you just did, mate.
He's cracked.
I'd like to share a couple of things, Tom, as well, from my trip on the way back. Wireless headphones.
Yep.
Well done. Congratulations.
What do you mean? Why do you want to shout them out?
Got me through.
Okay.
My iPad.
Yeah.
Okay, which has I've only got an iPad recently. That's on the public record. Loving every second of it. Yeah. Okay, playing Eyes Up Rugby League football. I downloaded all of Mobland. Right, fucking great show. Pierce Brosnan, Tom Hardy.
It's new, eh?
Tick tick. I'm loaded the fuck up. right? So then I've got that. I have Hungry Jack's chicken strippers, right? Or whatever, tenders, chicken tenders, 5 of them, glorious. Large Whopper meal. So I'm satiated, now on the plane, in my own zone, watching my show.
Didn't you want to sleep on the plane?
No, I want to watch Mobland.
Yeah, right. Did you? I mean, you got more sleep than I did. I guess.
I did. Yeah, I wanted to watch Mobland. And
no,
so
I understand
that's what I watched.
that is mad.
Sometimes you just want to take the edge off, and Mobland did that for me in a big way.
I'll shout out HJs while I'm at it because I got a big old feed when we were there when I made it to the airport, but I did almost fucking yak the second I ate it. I almost yacked like 5 times yesterday.
Almost, you did.
No, I almost yacked. But you know, as long as you sit there and you basically got to go, all right, I don't. Dude, after we went to bed Saturday night, Sunday morning, when we walked back into the house and just the act of standing up and moving around, I was like, oh no, this is bad. I started getting cold sweats and shit. And I'm like, all right, guys, yeah, see you, off to bed you go. And you guys all went up to bed. I just went and got a glass of water. I'm like, Steph's in the house with the girls. Carly's in the other room with Rosie. I can't be booting in this house. And it's an echoey house. Like, you can hear everything.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So I had to walk out.
Down the pontoon.
No. That would have echoed across the bloody canals. I walked out onto the street and down the street and just sat out front like a house maybe 50 metres down the street on the grass and just lay there for like 20 minutes.
Did you really?
Yeah. Didn't yak though.
Came good?
Came good. I think laying on by that stage, the grass, the dew had set in. So when I lay back, it was kind of like a weird little ice bath on me back.
Oh, that is scat. Oh, my God.
Big night, bro.
That's so scat.
Oh, bro. It was tough.
So
tough
you were wet and shit.
Well, yeah, dude. It was dew. There was dew on the ground.
Oh, my goodness.
These are the things you have to do. I was celebrating.
My goodness.
I was celebrating Hamish.
You're
bro.
right though. No, a yak wouldn't have played in that house.
Fuck no, it wouldn't have played. It was mature of me to walk down the street.
Yeah, but I
still
know.
in my tuxedo.
Geez, you played a toll. You paid a toll.
Well, mate, I mean, let's be honest. It was a heavy session, Edward.
You paid a real. Yeah, I can't. I'm just singing about you laying out in your tux on the side of the road. As the sun comes up, wet. People walking their pooches.
Nah, there was none of that.
Not good.
There was an inquisitive street cat that wouldn't fucking leave me alone, which I was concerned about getting into a scrap with. I don't know where he's been.
A street cat?
Yeah, he was fucking knocking about. But listen, all's well that ends well. Didn't yak, back into the house, into bed. Thanks for coming.
So that's the sign of a good night, isn't it?
Exactly right.
You know?
You make no apologies.
When you're soaking wet in your tux on the side of the road.
No shoes.
No shoes. Oh, you're just earthing, mate.
Correct.
Just earthing.
Just earthing before I yacked. Well, didn't yak, in case of. But then it was all good. Snuck back into the house. No sleep. Almost yacked on the way to the airport. Almost yacked out the airport.
Almost yacked on the plane, almost yacked at home.
Nah, it was bait. Once I got at Hungry Jack's and that settled me.
Yep.
But you had to let that thing set in. Big. I never used to drink Coca-Cola, or soft drinks generally when I'm hungover. Now I fucking need them like a hole in there.
You need your daylights, mate. That's what you needed.
I didn't have any fucking daylights.
No, I know.
Because they don't get sent up from the bloody place. You'd think if you own a fucking vitamins and hydration business, you might be able to get them.
Well, you'd think they'd send them.
You think they'd fucking send them. I had absolutely none of it.
Yep.
On the Goldie.
Yep. That was crushing.
Yeah, it was.
When you put out a message last week, where are they? We haven't sent them. Great. Okay. That's just a different. That's just a personal. That's just a personal gripe between friends. It's just a personal gripe.
Anyway, get home, get the girls to bed immediately. 11 hours of sleep, and I'm back, sort of ready for Magic Round.
You look great.
Thank you.
By the way,
thank you so much
for what it's worth.
Yeah,
you look incredible.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely incredible.
Phenomenal weekend. Once again, shout out to Streety for getting in the ring.
Oh, unbelievable.
Punch Flow, his trainer.
Yep.
And his brother Sam and his brother Jock for helping out.
Jock's a great bloke.
Jock's a legend.
Big fan of Jock. And
Josh,
shout out to Lamb.
Jeff Athletic.
Lamb. Very good style of a bloke.
Yep. Magic Round. Friday. Well, actually, we're going to be there Thursday, but Friday, 7:30, Caxton Street Brewing Co. Your boys, Tom, Eddie, and the great and powerful Justin Horoscope. We're doing a live stream / live show. Caxton Street Brewing Co. I know I said that before. I'm just saying it again. The Roosters v. the Dolphins. So that'll be downstairs in that little amphitheatre area they've got under there. It's free to entry, but limited spaces. So get in early and come
Get in
for a
while
rip
the
with
getting's
us.
good, baby. That's all I'd say.
Get in and come for a rip with us. It's the only thing of that nature we're doing.
Yes. So come down, rip and tear. We'll have a good time.
Yeah.
Watch some footy. Have a couple of laughs.
Couple of laughs.
Couple of giggles, mate. 7:30, first in, best dress. Do not miss it.
It'll be the rip of the weekend.
Oh, easily.
That was actually, funnily enough, and that's what, when you wake up / when you're wrecked after like a big weekend, it was one of the first things that came to my mind was Magic Round is just around the corner. I was like, oh my God, dude, what am I gonna? Oh my God,
how do we go on?
How do I pull myself up from my bootstraps, buy my bootstraps, and go back into battle?
How do I go on?
Yeah,
it's an interesting question, a bold one.
Well, listen, you just got to do it.
Magic Round's a hell of a weekend.
Exactly,
but it's after the Goldie when you're assessing these things on a Monday, it almost looks too
great.
Too unachievable.
Yeah, it's Everest.
A mountain too high.
Everest.
But then you remind yourself that you are a mountaineer.
A mountaineer.
Mountaineer
yeah.
of some note.
Yeah.
Of some note.
Yeah.
And that you need to start believing.
Yeah, and also you got little Sherpas.
Yep.
Daylights and Good Day to help you.
BigWoodHelp.com.au code dribblers for 10% off.
But more importantly, Caxton Street Brewing Co. 7:30 Friday. Scope, us, Fish, Roosters. Punters and dribblers, if you like me or if you like Eddie, then you like nothing more than sitting back with an ice cold tin of 4 Pines Japanese lager, cracking that bitch open and slurping on it while you watch Rugby League.
Get a tin in to ya.
Tins for the wins.
Tins for the wins. If you have a win, have a tin. And if you have a tin, you might get a win. Is that making sense? It should be.
It should be. Magic Round this weekend. If you can't make it, you're going to be watching a lot of Rugby League football. You head down to your bottle, get a six-pack, get a slab, do whatever you want. Dance how you want to dance.
And you got to make the weekend better because if you're not there, then you'll be a little bit sad, but you won't be as sad if you have a case or a slab or a six-pack of Japanese lager.
Yep.
Like way better.
It's eyes up. Big week in Rugby League. I tell you who it's a bigger week for, just before we get into Rugby League though, but who it's a bigger week for.
Who?
Tinfoil hat, guys.
Good to get it back on.
Well, you see that Epstein accuser kill herself in Western Australia? I know this is a sports show, so please leave your comments. Oh, I thought this was a sports book. You can't have an Epstein accuser. I'm pretty sure the one that's in the photo with Prince Andrew, Dior that, who's been like one of the most outwardly, outwardly loud and accusatory of this whole situation, just suddenly kills herself in Western Australia. Righto. Oi, righto.
Oh. Huge.
Now, we don't want to ruffle too many feathers.
No, listen,
we could find ourselves unalived.
We're not big feather rufflers,
but just know that I won't.
It's interesting. Know that as my mic decides
just keeps limping up.
Limp.
It's limped up on you.
Mid Ronnie.
Yeah.
Mid Blakey, this thing just fucking goes to sleep on me.
But when this came across our desk,
Saturday night.
Was it Saturday night?
I think it was Saturday night. I think you showed me Saturday night.
You did. You turned and looked at me and just said, rich people can do whatever the fuck they want.
Yep.
And get away with anything.
Yep. It's been happening since time began, punters and dribblers. The rich doing whatever the fuck they want. It's another instance of it. Listen, it's a Thursday topic on a Monday show.
But like, it should be all over the news.
Of course it isn't, mate. Harsh, harsh. Shh. 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 We ain't running that. Shush. Shush up. Shush it. Shush up. Very interesting.
Yeah.
Open your eyes, sheeple.
Open your eyes.
Now.
There you go. That was it.
Her with Ghislaine Maxwell as well. In the
of course. Ghislaine, who's apparently in prison. Didn't see a single thing of her trial. None of it got out.
Now, Rugby League.
Rugby League. Sorry, I had to do that. I had to indulge. Thursday game was Dogs Bronx. Adam Reynolds takes the field with an ingrown hair that almost ruled him out of the game. Did you read that?
No, I didn't. But he's got a bit more about him.
Well, it puts into context my own heroics with an ingrown hair, showing up for podcasts, showing up for live streams. He almost pulled out of the game.
Didn't you miss stuff?
No, not for me ingrown.
With your boil?
Me boil? I don't think so. Maybe I did.
A little bit, yeah, I know. But would you have been able to take the field, play professional rugby league first grade?
For 1.1.
Because you were limping around.
For $1 million.
You were limping around.
Yeah, but he would have been numbed up,
you were like, oh, I can't even sit, mate.
No, you couldn't.
Maybe he did miss an about even.
Yeah, that actually wasn't for the boil. I know that was...
Right.
No, because I missed it in the morning. Oh, what was it? Trust me, it was a scheduling conflict more than I couldn't make the show.
I can't remember if there were boil.
No, because I remember it being scheduled, but obviously the narrative when I'm not there is either I'm sick or I've got a boil that I can't overcome.
Right.
Either way, the Broncos.
He was in the wars, Adam Reynolds, because it looked like he did his shoulder as well.
Well, I think he did do it. He had to come off with it at the end, didn't he?
Yeah.
Come off with it.
He did end up coming off because he stayed on.
Yes. Well, he's tough as teak.
Fuck, he's tough as teak. So he stayed on, busted shoulder and a boil.
Outside of like Daly Cherry Evans, and obviously you're like, he's close to like one of my favourite halfbacks of sort of our era. Like obviously you got Joey and shit, but what I mean is more like, I guess of more recent times. Over the span of his career, you could even say. I just feel like he is...
We were talking about this. Is he the most underrated player of his generation?
I feel like he's always been super underrated. I was always surprised he didn't play more Origin. He kicks so well. He's an out-and-out halfback. And there's something about him I feel is underrated. Obviously, it's easy to say after he has an absolutely phenomenal game.
Well, that's when you bring these sort of things up, Tom.
But I've been saying it for a while.
No, you have been. But I'm just saying it makes your case stronger if you bring it up after a ripper.
Yeah, not after you lose the Warriors.
No, you're not going to bring it up then.
No, that'd be a stupid time.
You don't bring it up off the back of 2 losses. You bring it up when they beat the undefeated Bulldogs at home in the driving rain on Anzac Day Eve.
Which you predicted.
Which I predicted because I'm tapped the fuck in.
You are.
Because I'm tapped the fuck in.
Yeah, tap.
Like I was bringing this up, in one of my group chats pre-game. And people are going, but look at the sides, compare the 2 sides. I go, okay, if you want to compare the sides on paper, explain to me how the Dolphins beat the fucking Storm last week. That's not how rugby league works, especially not in the regular season.
I also think if you were to compare the sides on paper, the Broncos might actually come up looking better.
So it doesn't make sense on both accounts.
Broncos got to humping, though. 42-18.
Was it 32-0 at one stage? I think it was.
Was it?
Yeah, at halftime it was 34-0.
34-0 at halftime.
Where's Thursday?
It was queuing the rack stuff.
It was.
It was queuing the rugby league rack stuff. Jesse Arthur scored when? 31st minute. That was nice. Jeez, that was nice.
Yeah, it was good to get it done for you. I had Preston and Arthur's and the Dogs line. Not important about even.
Not important.
But
that's it. You can catch all our bets there. I just thought it was worth bringing up that I'm tapped the fuck in. Vibe-wise, Broncos... See, when they're going, they're going.
When they're going, they're going. If Madge can get them going, Eddie, I think that they have every right to win the NRL premiership.
I think they can win it if they're going.
If they're going.
But they've got to be going.
Yeah. I liked Billy Walters back in the 9. I don't know. Listen, that other guy, Corey Pakes, can play rugby league. Don't get it twisted. But Billy Walters came on and did a job. Kicked a 40-20, looked good at a dummy half, scored a try late. I like Billy Walters.
Mate, nothing bad to say about Billy. Billy's been put through the shit a little bit as well.
With the whole, the
Daddy's
dad
boy,
saga.
looked after, Nepo kid, la 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 la.
And then Madge comes in and Billy's on the bench, Corey Pakes start, and then you got Ezra coming back, and then what's going to happen there is Ben Hunt's going to go to a hooker, but then what happens to does Corey Pakes drop out of the side, does Billy Walters drop out of the side? Billy comes out pumping 40-20s and scoring tries and looking sharp out of dummy half.
It's a don't forget about me.
Yeah.
Performance from Billy Walters. Bit of a shush, get that up ya.
Get that. It's a bit of a get that up your performance.
Yeah, it's a get that up your game.
Yeah.
From Billy. And I'm happy for him. I really am. Kevy's boy. But big win for the Bronx. Big win for the Bronx.
Yeah.
And then people, this is rugby league. That's why I love the game. People start saying to themselves, are the Bulldogs all that?
Yeah.
Are they all that?
Also, do the Broncos...
Are they even that good?
Do the Broncos...
Have they played anyone that good? That's what I love about this game, baby.
Yeah.
People start... That's all that needs to happen. An off weekend. Woo, the Dogs, are they even a top 8 side? What?
Yeah. The wheel's falling off.
Now, I might have put May on that top 8 comment, but you know what I mean.
No, well, I mean, all you're doing is taking the idea for a walk, Edward.
Yes, walking it.
You're simply walking out the premise. It's also really nice to go, geez, the Broncos better with Cobbo at the back.
Worth musing.
You know what I mean? Is Reece Walsh all that he's cracked up to be? Was it one good year?
Did he deserve $5 million over 5 years till 2029?
He's not in my Origin side, Eddie.
No, he's not in mine. Either
But then you look at Kalen Ponga the other night, it's not going that good. What's KP all about?
Great questions. But then Reece is out for what, 5 weeks? 5-6 weeks? So maybe that's already been solved.
Well, but maybe Hammer's fullback. Fish looking all right at times.
Fish looking pretty good at times. Hammer looking great at times.
Yeah.
But then you start saying, gee, good problem to have for bloody.
Oh, good problem. Big good problem.
Or is it a bad problem to have?
Well, because none of them are in
that
form.
your fullbacks are in form.
Well, maybe Cobbo plays fullback.
Maybe he does. Maybe he plays wing.
Because Phil Gould also said that he thinks Broncos actually look better with Cobbo at fullback.
I'd heard that.
But I also don't know any, like Phil Gould, I feel like he just sows seed of doubt.
I'd heard before the game that Cobbo could straighten him up. I might have borrowed that in my about even rant. I don't actually know for sure.
The problem is that with Gus Gould on the Twitter, you know what I mean, or on the 100% footy on 6 tackles with Gus, anywhere you hear him across the media landscape, I can't tell when Gus is being sincere with me and when he's gaslighting me into thinking that a player's shit. So then, like, let's walk this out. Let's step this one out, Eddie, like your old man at a house.
Well, at a holiday rental.
At a holiday rental. You've got Gus saying the Broncos look better with Cobbo at the fullback. Now who's on the outer? Reece Walsh. Oh, you know who's without a gold Rolex fullback? The Broncos. Oh, now Reece Walsh is looking a little disgruntled.
He just re-signed.
I'm just saying that matters little. What I'm talking about is just Gus generally speaking in the media.
You're stepping it out like my old man at a holiday rental.
I'm stepping it out like Shilton at a holiday rental.
I get it. Front and back, inside and out, I understand. I don't think you can take Phil at his word at all.
No.
He's a supremo A. He's wily as fuck B. And C, he's known to chop and change and basically straight up lie.
Did you see
in the media?
He
a la Trent Barrett. He will 100% be at the club next year, sacked the week after.
No. He'll be here long after I'm gone.
Gone. That's it. There you go.
But there was another one in I think Buzz's What's the Buzz? Obviously Buzz and Gus famously hate one another. But Gus was like, Buzz was just talking about how like Phil Gould's like, essentially he's like, Gus is just a fucking gaslighting motherfucker. I'm going to try to find it. It was from Saturday, I believe. But it was basically after the loss, Gus was like, that was like my favourite Bulldogs game to watch all year. It's like, what? What are you talking about, son? Don't you fucking lie to me, Gus.
Did he say that publicly, Phil?
Let's see. Where is it? Where's What's the Buzz, brother? Must be on Sunday's papes. This is where preparation would come in handy, wouldn't it? Gus full of bluff. What game was the great Gus Gould watching on Friday night as Brisbane towed up his Canterbury Bulldogs in such an emphatic style? Afterwards, Gus tweeted, of all the games that we've played so far this season, this was the game I enjoyed the most. Some really positive passages of play.
They barely touched the footy in the first half.
They got fucked near to death. I don't know.
It was 34-0 at half time. I don't know what the fuck he's talking about.
Could you please get up the tweets from Gus over the weekend? Mm-hmm. Mainly the new profile pic. I think that's the most important one. He said a lot of stuff over the weekend, but the new profile pic, he's tweeted this out last week. And I think you want to see it.
Hot. That's from a while ago.
No, he posted that. Isn't that photos from a while ago?
I reckon it is.
Well, you can just look at the time and date that it was posted. But
as in, is that an old photo?
Oh, I don't know if it's an old photo.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, I'm not sure of that, but look at the time it was posted.
12:17 a.m.
Yeah. Gus is on.
Gus new profile pic hashtag.
Yeah.
Gus has had a couple.
Well, listen, he just loves a tweet, dude. I don't know if it has a couple. I think he's got a bit of the rock about him in terms of like doesn't sleep.
Yeah, okay. Fair enough.
Supremos, dude. Supremos probably don't sleep. That's how you become one.
That's the only way too, is because you like 12, 18 hours is not enough, or 16 hours not enough in a day if you assume that you're asleep for 8 of them, punters and dribblers. That's the math.
Yeah.
He's prolific
Yeah,
online.
He is.
Absolutely prolific. Great photo. Looks nice there.
No, he looks very handsome. I like
Interesting insight as well is that's the photo that Gus is most happy with.
Well, listen, when you get to that age, like that's probably as
As in like I'm not judging the photo. I'm saying he's gone through.
Dude, he changed. This is Gus. You got to understand Gus on Twitter. One of his content verticals, which is a real content speak here that I'm getting into.
Well, it's a marketing term as well. Buckets or verticals?
Buckets are hot at the moment.
Buckets are hot.
Buckets are really hot in the marketing. Fucking lingo.
So one of his buckets.
One of his content buckets is his new profile pics.
Oh, he does this all the time?
Yes.
Okay.
So he put up one with him and Danny Wides and someone else recently, and he just says the hashtag new profile pic. So this is on-brand content bucket, content vertical for Gus Gould.
Love it. Love, 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 love.
Can we go to one? We'll go to his Anzac Day post. Okay. Uber driver, this is Gus's tweet about his Anzac Day experience. Uber driver just dropped me at Allianz Stadium. He asked, "What is on here today?" I told him it was the big Anzac Day NRL match. He said, "Okay, thank you. I don't know this game." Different strokes for different folks, I guess. What we think is important is not on other people's radar. ...
He's basically musing there, punters and dribblers, about the fact that he's shocked.
He cannot believe.
He cannot believe that no one knows about this game. The greatest game of all.
The greatest game of all. How the F...
Oh, you don't know about the Anzac Day game at Allianz? You don't know
Roosters
about
Dragons?
Switch on.
Yeah, switch on, dude. Hey, you want to make some money driving your Uber today, buddy? You might have a few trips either to or from here. If you open your goddamn eyes.
See, you thought Phil might have switched on by the fact that 27 million people in the country, max 3 watch Origin?
Don't you reckon that's wild, though?
Do you know what I mean?
No, I know. But don't you find that somewhat mind-blowing, given what we have here is the greatest game of all, certainly God's winter sport.
Yep.
That, we don't have 20, 30, 40 million Australians watching that?
Yeah. You'd think everyone.
You'd think, well...
The Matildas last year, what'd they get? 8?
They got 11.
11. Lot missing.
What?
More than half missing. In action. MIA. Where you at?
Where you at, dude?
Where you at?
Oi! Where you at?
Where you at? Where y'all at? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Makes you think, doesn't it?
Makes you think.
Now, on Anzac Day, Edward, shout out to the Anzacs.
Of course.
To the Diggers.
Yeah.
Didn't get to play 2-up.
No, neither did I.
Didn't get out to 2-up. Family and that. On the Goldie and that. Street preparing for a fight and that. Didn't think that I, given the rip that I was about to have on Saturday and that, could get out of family affairs.
Well, you were being measured.
Went bowling, strike bowling and that.
Nice.
I celebrated the Diggers by bowling strikes. But did you watch our fucking best mate Sandon Smith rip and tear?
Yeah, got the Anzac medal.
Yeah, he did. He
got the Anzac medal, Tom.
Well, he got the Anzac medal for the Anzacs, the Anzac medal. Roosters Dragons. For those of you that aren't aware, Sandon Smith's a close personal friend now, spent the day at the races drinking whiskies and Japanese lagers.
Yes,
together,
we did.
4 pints, shout out to it. That was some of the things he was doing were like some of the classiest halfback shit or half stuff I've seen for a very long time. That Tedesco try, it must have been the first one, where broken play, he bloody shoots through the line, and then as he's getting tackled, he's like after jinking and jiving and dumbing and ducking and weaving after he's getting tackled just to somehow get his foot to the ball to kick it into the in goal.
Mate, it was he invoked the Anzac spirit in this game.
Oh, absolutely.
He carved the fuck out of him. Scored 2 tries.
The dummy, dude, 2 dummies in that game that put Gutho into just a different realm and a bit on the ground.
Well, yes. Like that, was it the first one?
No, Sandon's second try, again, broken play, runs through, and he just
But the one where poor old Clint looked.
There were 2 where Clint looked all at sea, and unfortunately for Clint, all at sea. If you get if you get dummied to by like a half by a ball player, I feel like there's a bit in that where you're like, this guy's a magician generally, right? Their position is it requires some wizardry.
Well, if you're a half and you've risen to the dizzying heights of first grade rugby league, you've got to be able to throw a dummy, you'd think.
Yep.
You know?
But the second one, whilst it was still a wonderful selling of candy to borrow from the AFL, Blake Steep selling you candy was as bold as it gets. It was as bold as it gets, and Gutho was still trying to tackle Tedesco. That's how good the dummy was from Blake Steep. Scott's boy, by the way, not important.
Good day out.
Good day out.
Good day out.
A real good day out.
Hugo Savala,
Blake Steep. No Billy Smith or
not a bad game for Hugo. Not a bad game at all.
Yeah.
The Blake Steep dummy.
Dude, it was huge.
Yeah.
You know when you see sometimes in MMA when some guy gets choked out and then he wakes up and forgets he's been choked out and starts trying to tackle the ref?
Yeah.
Gutho was still trying to tackle Tedesco while Steepy's running in under the sticks.
Steepy under the sticks.
Have you seen Steepy's chin? Pull up a photo of Steep, please, Tobler. Steepy's got a chin on him.
Does he?
Oh, yeah. Nice bummy. It's a hot one, dude. It's a hot bummy.
Show me this bummy, son.
I feel like you want to give it a squeeze.
Oh, yeah. Steepy. Oh, yeah.
Look at that. That thing puts Boyd Porter to shame almost.
Oh, my God. Where have you been hiding this bum chin, son?
It's a good bummy.
Oh, I love a bummy, mate. Love a bummy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Great bummies in rugby league.
Oh, great bummies, dude. We've
had great chins. We haven't had great bummies.
No, great bummies. Jeez, I haven't seen a bummy in a while.
Can you get Boydie's bummy up? Because I'm starting to think this is the best bummy in rugby league currently.
I think this is better than Boyd's bummy.
Same.
Boyd had a bummy.
Boyd had a hairy bummy as well. I know that Blake, obviously, you can shave it, but Boyd's felt like it was perpetually
Well, he always
hairy.
had like a one. Yes, it's better than Boyd's bummy.
Yeah, it is. It's
way better.
And it definitely is better than Boyd's bummy. And that's not to knock the great Boyd Cordner.
This isn't about Boyd Cordner and what he did on the rugby league field.
No, this is about bummies in rugby league.
This is about bummies in rugby league.
And Blake Steep is
he's best
standard.
This is the standard right now.
Yeah.
He's the standard right now. I can't think of who else is working that bummy.
I want to smack that thing.
I want to squeeze it.
I want to give it
I want to make it
consensually, of course.
Well, I'd like to, just roll the thumb and the fourth. Is it that? No, the pointer finger.
Squeeze it.
Just squeeze
Pinch it.
And then roll it back and forward a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Just to get the.
Just to see how maneuverable it is.
Well, is it a
stiff bummy?
Is it a stiff bummy? Or is it got a bit of give?
Are they tight buns or is this
Yeah. Or can I work with it?
Can you, Tobler, while I've got you here, can you just look up why bummies exist? Do you know what I mean? Like in terms of when a face is developing, would it be considered a birth defect of some sort?
Well,
no. What I mean
it's not a cleft.
I know it's not. He's got some lips on him as well, the kid.
Also, can you look up if at any point in human history bum chins have been worshipped?
Yep. So
were they a sign of the divine?
Bum chins are still, and I say birth defect only in the sense that something's happened or not happened for a bummy to form, but a bummy's still viewed as an attractive quality within human beings. You could say dimples might be a bit birth defecty, but they look cute.
Defect's the wrong word.
something's gone wrong. All right. Something's happened.
Yeah, so it's reported that the chin dimple results from incomplete fusion of the two halves of the jaw.
Call it what it is, Tobler. It's a bummy.
A bummy. It's been reported that the bummy results from incomplete fusion of the two halves of the jaw during fetal development, forming a notch.
There you go.
Not a defect.
No. Jeez, it's a breathtaking bum chin.
No,
I can't stop looking at it.
No.
In a great way.
No.
Good set of lips on him as well. I think you said that.
He's a handsome boy.
They're plump.
And he can sell a dummy, that bummy.
Yeah, that bummy can sell a dummy.
And he did. Poor old.
You almost, but if you're not a half who's been reared selling dummies, you've almost got to have a good bummy to sell a dummy.
If you're not a half.
If you're not a half.
Yeah. Certainly helps.
If it's not your racket.
Certainly helps. You get lost in a bummy.
Yeah.
As a defender.
Well, Clint's staring at the bummy.
He's a good style of a bloke, I'll tell you. Old Streety. It was a phenomenal dummy.
Yeah. Yeah.
I got to be honest, it was a hot dummy.
Yeah.
And you know, poor old Vossi couldn't really celebrate the dummy. Vossi just went on about how it was almost disrespectful not to pass the ball to Tedesco. I'm like, can we just celebrate the dummy for a second here? Can we just celebrate this man fucking absolutely selling poor old Gutho down the river?
Vossi always quick to find the bad in something, isn't he?
Well, and listen, in fairness to Vossi, it wasn't that he was being negative. It was more just like the dummy was the play here, dude. Not the fact that he didn't pass it to Teddy. It's that the bummy sold a dummy.
Mm. That's what you lead with.
And that poor old Gutho left waking up from a rear naked choke again trying to tackle the referee, metaphorically speaking.
Of course. Who'd been dummied to death.
Yeah. Two of the fucking fattest dummies you've ever seen. And poor old Gutho fell for both of them.
Yeah.
Pretty close together as well.
Yeah. Well, you go to bed thinking about dummies. You wake up thinking about dummies, and you have nightmares.
Oh yeah. No, they were two
of
nightmarish
dummies. You know.
You feel silly when you get sold a dummy. Thinking back to my playing days.
Well, same with the dummies. Yeps, getting stepped. It's all, you know.
Yeah, getting stepped.
Because you're made to look the jester.
You did you got tricked.
Yeah.
Publicly.
Yeah. You got hoodwinked. You got
bamboozled.
You got bamboozled. You got dummied by bummy.
So there are some spiritual meanings behind a bummy, that some people believe that people with bummies are very hard workers, other have a very strong mind, or the telltale sign of a natural performer.
Well, that's Blake Steep right there.
I think you know that, though. I think you know if a bloke's got a bummy and he's playing first-grade rugby league, he's going to be a handful. Tough cunt.
Did Cam Smith have a bummy?
Yep.
Pretty sure he did.
Yeah, he did. If it wasn't like it didn't look like a bum
well,
so much
listen,
as,
you didn't need to be wiped after a meal.
No, but it was dimpled up. That's my memory of it.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a bummy there.
Yep. Shock horror.
Yeah. Hard working. Probably can grow a good beard as well, Steepy. Or at least if he can't, he will.
Yeah. You'll see hair on the forearms if you got a bummy.
Punters and Dribblers, we are brought to you by the greatest betting platform on earth, and that is Ned's. Now, this weekend, Eddie and I will be at Magic Round with the great and powerful Rugby League guru, and we're doing a pot for the weekend. You can get involved if you're on the Ned's app, if you're in the About Even group, and if you feel like having a punt with your boys.
Why wouldn't you? Me, Roo, Burmo, in charge of a pot of some note this weekend, worth remembering. I'm hot right now. I've got the hot hand. Follow the hot hand. Only way to follow the hot hand is if you're in the pot. Thanks to Ned's. Getting it? Good.
You win some, you lose more. For free and confidential support, call the number on screen or visit the website. Few games on the old Magic Round. Warriors continue the trend.
Well, that Magic Round's this weekend, mate.
Sorry, not Magic, Anzac.
The
Warriors continue the trend of beating the Knights. Did the Knights, when was the last time they won a game? Did they win one recently and I've just missed it?
No. They haven't won for a while. I think that's 4 in a row they've lost.
Let me double check, but I think it's around that.
Either way.
Warriors top 4 now.
They look good. Listen, I'm not going to, unfortunately, I can't give you too much here because they look good for the moments I was watching, but I was not interested in the game.
Yeah, it's the first win since round Oh, no, they haven't won since round 2.
Yeah. And it's not a Warriors thing, it's that it's a Knights thing.
It's a Knights
You were
thing.
playing the Knights, so I don't care.
It's a Knights thing. The Knights just can't get their attack going. Their halves aren't working.
Jackson Hastings still hasn't been picked.
Jackson Hastings hasn't been picked. They've had how many different combinations of the halves? 50 in the last 5 years? It's just.
But even just in this season, they've mixed it up a bit, haven't
That's
they?
what I mean. That's what I'm saying. But they do it all. That's all they've ever done. There's no consistency. They look like shit. And if you had them to win the spoon, you'd be half excited. You'd be half chubbed. You know?
Bad evening, that.
I'm just saying.
I know you are.
Generally.
No, I know.
As a general saying,
statement.
because they've been bang fucking ordinary.
Oh, bad, dude. They've been bad.
They've been bang ordinary.
They've been bad, bro.
And they're it's like getting waterboarded watching them play.
Yeah.
Like, when was the last time Greg Margie scored a try?
Last week, but like.
Well, how many did you score this year? Not many.
It might be one.
There you go. So the point sort of stands still.
Can we just go back to? I just want to see. There's been 18 fucking sin bins over the weekend. We'll get to the sin bin thing in a moment because I wouldn't mind just going through game by game. But 18 sin bins over that round. It was fucked. Storm beat the Bunnies, but the Bunnies did. They did try and make a game of it, Edward. They did their best to make a game of it. They just have never. They've never won in Melbourne.
Never.
That is a record to behold.
Never, ever.
2 sin bins in this game.
Never, ever have they won in Melbourne. That is a crazy statistic. Crazy. There was a few games with double cinnies.
Multi-cinnies, bro.
Multi-cinnies. 18 cinnies, too many cinnies. We'll have a brief yarn about cinnies.
Well, we're going to have to touch
in
on
a mini.
Yeah, cinnies in a mini, but we're going to have to touch on
cinnies in a mini, bruh. But what do you say? Like, get your shit together, Rabbitohs. Like, you got to win one down there eventually.
Yeah, listen, they just, it's...
People musing in the paper, I think on Fox Sports, that why don't they put Jack Whiten in the halves?
Yeah, you mean the guy that won Dally M as 5'8"?
And then put Latrell in the centres and put Jai Gray at fullback. Doesn't that make sense? Given that that's where a lot of them have played.
Did Trell start at fullback for this game?
Yep.
And did Gray start at 5'8"?
Yep.
Yeah.
Because Cody Walker was like late out 24 hours before.
But I read that and I go, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, Jack Whiten did score 2 tries in the centres.
Yeah, but would Latrell have scored
done that? Yeah, fair.
You know?
Yeah.
Jack Whiten, again,
Dally M winning.
played a lot of 6.
Yeah.
He's played a heap of it.
Well, most of his career, I think.
Jai Gray been doing a job all year, and Latrell, again, played a heap of centre.
Yeah. Well, may have been his best position.
Some people say that, Tom.
1-2.
I'm probably one of them.
1-2 comps at centre.
I'm probably one of them.
I might be. I don't know, but I might be.
Listen, he can play fucking centre. That's all you need to know.
Yeah.
And if Jack White's in the halves and Latrell's at fullback, where's Gray? Whereas, again, if you do what I just said, makes a bit more sense. Who knows? I'm not going to tell Wayne Bennett what to do. Know that. I merely find it interesting that they haven't gone that route when you could. When you could go that route. Storm back to winning ways. Good on you. Congrats.
But whatever as well, you know.
Picking Pap or you picking Dylan Edwards?
For fullback?
Yeah.
Tedesco.
For the New South Wales. Fair income.
Yeah, I reckon.
Interesting. Fuck, you wouldn't want to be Mr. Laurie, would you? Mr.
Well,
Laurie
no,
Daly.
good problem to have, mate. Good problem to have, mate.
Yeah, but I think that's always been a bad problem for New South Wales.
We've had too many problems.
We've got way too many duffels.
More money, more problems.
More money, more. Put it this way: you're in a gunfight. You look down the duffel; it's stacked. You don't know which gun to get out.
Yeah, you
right?
get the
You're
wrong
indecisive, and you get killed. That's what's happened.
Mo fullbacks, mo problems.
Yep, agreed. Couldn't agree more with you, mate.
It felt like it.
Mo fullbacks, mo problems. Cowboys put 50 on the Titans. Titans come win the comp as if anyone thought they could.
But they were up 18-0, weren't they? Or 18-4 or something.
Water's starting to find their level a little bit, I think.
Well, not 18-0 because the Cowboys scored 4.
In terms of who's shit and who's going all right. Cowboys are starting to go all right. Titans are shit.
So it was 18-6 or 18-4. And then 35th, 46th, 51st, 58, 68, or 66, 68, 71, 79. Cows got to work.
I tell you who's been going out the back deck and
jerking and
smoking and
sipping on whiskey
and sighing a lot and just really enjoying his back porch.
Toddy Pates.
For what it is, Toddy Pates, who was, if you believe the rumours or,
Scuttlebutt.
If you believe Scuttlebutt, he was close to getting sacked before he started to turn that ship around, which he has. I now go, listen, he's beaten the Titans, so let's not, let's not ride home to mum and dad.
Let's not spend too much time on the back deck, but you still.
If you're at war, you don't ride home to mum and dad about the Cowboys beat the Titans.
We beat the Titans.
Waste of fucking ink, mate.
Yeah.
They get it 6 months later, they go, cool, bro.
Yeah, sweet.
Yeah.
Or if you're at war and you were sending a letter home to your parents, you're not saying we just beat the Titans.
That's what I meant.
That's
what I was saying.
So you're sending it from the battlefront.
I'm saying you wouldn't ride, if you're at war, you wouldn't ride home to mum and dad saying that the Cowboys beat the Titans.
And the Titans metaphorically would be whom?
I'm just saying, if you'd heard, you wouldn't do it.
Well, you wouldn't be writing home to people that know the result, because that wouldn't be exciting for them at all. They'd be like, yeah, we saw that 6 months ago.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the saying, is that you don't write home to mum and dad about things that aren't exciting, which is this result.
Yeah, but you'd be hearing about it. By the time you even remark about it to mum and dad, it's probably 12 months.
Well, I don't
the
think
game.
the saying works anymore.
Because if they sent it, they'd have to let you know. By the time you found out about it, by the time you find out about it on the battlefront, it happened 6 months prior. By the time you get back to mum and dad about it, that's 12 months. They're going, what game?
Huh? That's what they're saying.
Yeah.
So what we're saying is that this game isn't interesting and you wouldn't ride home to mum and dad. And if you don't get that, shame on you.
Now, the next game, Manly v. the four-time premiership winning Penrith Panthers. I just want to be really honest with people, straight up and honest. Good to get a win because we're on a bit of a streak, but, I'm not going to celebrate beating the bottom place losers,
They're coming last.
They're coming last. That's a beater thing to do, is get up and about and,
it'll be Tigers in the preseason.
Yeah.
What I will say is great to turn things around because we'd lost 3 on the trot.
Yeah, great to turn things around. And the boys played well.
Boys played well, dug in for each other, Tom, as the Anzacs do.
Firstly, the ball from Olakawatu to Garrick for the first try, just a really nice, honest, hard-running centres line from Ruben.
Hamale didn't play well last week. We call it as we saw it, but he comes out this week, scores a try, sets him up, re-establishes himself as a rugby league threat.
Well, that try was superb. Jumping over the top of a fullback, no disrespect, that's why Dylan Edwards, who was great last year's Origin Series, I don't know if you can pick him in this bottom of the barrel, from this bottom of the barrel club.
Yeah. Mate, it was out of the Tarima handbook.
Jumping?
Yeah.
But do you know what I mean when you talk about Dylan Edwards and Origin? And I respect Dylan for everything he's done for the state in his 2 games.
Mate, you just get the feeling that the Panthers are... They seem to be out of answers.
They're out of puff, and that's fine.
But they seem to be out of puff, and they seem to be over winning.
I said
They've won out.
I said it after that 4th grand final.
Yes, we both said
it. They're over it. They didn't give a fuck. They obviously did, but they weren't it was like, oh, thank God that's done. We're tired, man.
Yeah.
We've just won 4 straight comps, 5 straight grand finals. We are pooped.
The lemon's dry. Squeezing the lemon.
You've squeezed it dry.
You've squeezed the fuck out of it. It's just the skin left, son. Just the skin left. Because their side's still pretty fucking good. I know Brian's been out.
Well, I mean, I don't know who said it. It may have been the incomparable Andrew Voss. But if you're a team that has Nathan Cleary, Dylan Edwards, Isaiah Yeo, Liam Martin, you need to be better than that. You need to be better. And you still got Scott Sorensen. I think he won 3 on the trot. Tango's won 3 on the trot.
You've got players.
You got players. What you don't have, you can't. Papali, poor old Papali thinking, oh mate, Penrith. Everyone's like, oh fuck, they're gonna get Papali. It's like,
you can't put it this way. You can't turn around and say, oh, we're coming dead last because Brian's been out.
No.
That's
It'll be interesting to see how their form turns around when he comes back.
That's just not how it works. But you can't be kings forever. And maybe we'll have egg on our face. Maybe they'll go on a huge run late in the season, make the finals, shake things up. Who knows? But at the moment, dead last in that looks highly unlikely.
It looks.
The question you need to ask yourself, Tom, probably a more accurate one, is: do they make the 8 or not?
That's the fairer question. Are they a finals team?
Yeah. Have they got finals footy in them? Will they be there come September?
Does it make us worry about expansion and seeing how bad the Panthers are? Do we even have the cattle to facilitate 2 extra rugby league teams? When you see how bad this side is.
But they've got great players.
Exactly.
They're over winning. They're out of puff. It's a tired football side.
They got great players. How many great players do you need in a side to be great?
Well, they've got enough. Put it this way, they wouldn't be coming dead last if they hadn't won a comp yet. This side.
Tired. But
think about it that way.
Yeah, but then when you think
if this team currently on the park hadn't won a comp, are they coming dead last?
Are they winning a comp though?
Would they be coming dead last?
But would they win a comp? How many great players does it take to win a comp?
I'm not saying they can win the comp on our time. We're saying different things.
I know that, but what I'm saying is Penrith might be the exemplification of why expansion comes at a cost of the competition.
Has the competition expanded whilst they've been winning? The Dolphins, when they come in?
Yeah, last year year before. It has. I'm merely taking the piss here, but only to a degree where if you look at the sides that dominate, Penrith, for example, had fucking Throb City, Storm, their spine. We were talking about that at 4 a.m. in a hotel room in the casino about just that Melbourne spine.
About that spine?
About that spine, dude.
They got a spine that
spine's fucking
takes
ridiculous.
Your breath away.
Yeah.
Harry Grant, Cam Munster, Jerome Hughes, Pappenhausen.
What are we talking about?
Like, righto, mate.
What are we talking about?
Like, calm down.
Woo up.
Calm your farm.
But then you look at the Broncos when Ezra's back and they'll have a Ben Hunt into a fucking Reynolds, Ezra, Walsh, Cobbo.
Hot spine. See, they can be there when the whips are cracking.
But so, when we just are talking about obviously the bottom of the barrel Panthers, feels bad to say bottom of the barrel, but that's where they are. Toilet. Even though they've got those good players in there, to be great, you need fucking more. You need more than that. They don't have enough. And they're tired as hell.
And it's both.
They're deathly tired.
They're deathly tired. That side should be coming like 4th. So is it still a top 4 side? Probably.
I don't know if it's top 4 side, but what I do know is they are deathly tired. And the bottom of the table, it's where it's bedtime down there. That's where you get your rest. It's not bedtime at the top of the table.
Dead last. There's not a person alive that had Panthers outside the top 4 that's coming into the season. Not a man alive, and they're coming dead last. And I, for one, am loving it.
Yeah.
I'm loving it.
I'm not loving it as much as I thought I would. It doesn't... Maybe it's because it's a tiredness issue, largely. I know we're just sort of... But you know what I mean? Like, they're not a team that I ended up hating.
Well, I don't hate him, so I don't... Yeah, I know what you're saying.
It's hard to be like, yeah, fuck yeah. Whereas like...
I don't need him to be coming last. I'm just...
When the Eels are last, I'm hard.
I don't need him to be coming last, but I'm enjoying them not dominating.
Yes. The problem is that the Storm is still there.
I know. That's the other... Once they're gone, I'll feel good about it. The problem is they've been doing it for 20 years and it's looking highly unlikely.
Yeah.
Like, someone needs to just, get rid of Bellamy.
Like, the Storm have never... Obviously, they've never gone on a 4 straight premiership run, but they've missed the 8 once, and it was when they were over the cap.
They've never been dead last, put it that way.
No.
Except for when they were, because they stripped all their points.
Yeah.
Anyway, great win for the Eagles.
Dude, the what's it called? The play they ran that got Cooler the ball to score that try?
Well, they drew that out. They've drawn that up.
They've drawn that up. That's a lab one. That's
a lab play.
Lab grown.
Geez, it must be rewarding seeing lab-grown plays come off.
Yeah.
You'd be like fucking as practiced.
Yep. Didn't like seeing Tommy limping around still because he was limping. Don't get it twisted. He was still limping on the field. His leg was heavily strapped, and
he's looked laboured for 3 years.
But he was limping, dude. When he was like when the Panthers were attacking our line, and he's like trailing behind the defensive line, I'm like, this guy is limping.
Yeah.
Now I know we got a bye, so maybe it's like just get him back, try get a win, but like.
Yeah, but also if your best player's limping, well, you just have another week off, wouldn't you? We were arguing that last week.
I know. We did get a win.
No one listened to us, and you get the win, so you know.
If we didn't get the win.
But we don't know how he pulled up. So if he's pulled up well, whatever.
Yes.
But if he's pulled up ginger?
Shout out to Ginger Spice, by the way, worth noting.
You was Ginger Spice fan? Or?
Yeah. You not?
No, I'm just saying, was she, you know?
I think so.
She right up there for you?
I think she's probably numero one. Maybe a scary into a ginger. I don't mean into, you know what I mean? Just like.
You a Spice Girls fan, Tobler, or?
Yeah, as a kid growing up.
Bit before your time?
A little bit. They were on the early Sing Stars back on the PlayStation 2.
Yeah, you got a bit of Sing Star about you.
Absolutely, mate. Can't touch this MC Hammer. That was a jam. On Sing Star. Shout out to the PlayStation 2.
How'd Baddie Patrol go?
Dry weekend for Baddie Patrol, but still patrolling. Bought a new uniform from Cotton On last week.
I didn't hear that.
Yeah.
Thought it might help.
Cotton On. Can we get Baddie Patrol sponsored?
Yeah.
Anyone from Cotton On, reach out. We want to get our boy Tobler there, Queer Eye for the Straight Guide.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Do it. We need some new.
Didn't we say we wanted to do that?
Yeah, we did say that.
If you're a gay man out there and you've got a great sense of fashion and you want to be involved in a Queer Eye for the Straight Guy segment with Tobler, that'd be just huge. Please reach out.
Yeah, because we need him well dressed when he's out on patrol.
Yeah,
absolutely. You know,
have to be a gay guy though.
Yeah, or sassy.
No, I need you to be gay. If you can be gay and sassy, then phenomenal.
Great, but gay first. Well, if it's Queer Eye for the Straight Guy, it has to be. Yeah, yeah.
What are we talking about?
No, what's it? The giveaway's in the name.
Yeah,
isn't it?
Yeah. Great show back.
Great show. Great show. Don't make him like that anymore.
Nah, they don't make him like that anymore, Edward. They really don't. Anyway, not gonna song and dance about beating the bottom of the table, mate. It's just not our go.
Not our style. Not our
go,
racket.
But a great win nonetheless. The Raiders, comeback kings, dude. Much like porn stars, just coming backs.
Sure.
But you didn't.
Oh, I didn't mind it.
Well, you thought what? Was that not?
Just a bit crass for me, mate.
You thought it was a bit crass on Monday?
Yeah, just a bit uncouth.
Was that a bit much?
Just a bit much for my palate.
If was it? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Right.
Bit lowbrow for me.
Was it a bit lowbrow for you?
Yeah.
Maybe just beep it, Tobler.
Geez, a bit lowbrow.
Yeah.
Good on the Raiders.
The porn stars.
Ricky's got them believing. He's got these porn stars believing.
But they were.
He's got these donkey dicks.
Yeah.
Up and about. Now he's fuming about Jamal.
Oh well, of course you fucking fume, mate.
He's absolutely fuming about Jamal. I'm hearing deal done.
Yes, 3 years, man.
3 years, 7 a year, 2.1. Do the math. Ricky and the Raiders can't afford that, but not important.
Well, they didn't want to go a third year with their young'uns coming through.
Well, that's why they got young'uns coming through, Tom.
But again, another comeback. Was it 28-something?
28-10.
28-10.
28-10, and then they came back 40-28.
Yeah.
Fucking oath. See, this is a game, like, they don't come back, historically, the Raiders.
Oh, I feel like they do.
Or am I thinking of them losing leads?
I think you might be thinking of them losing leads or losing, like, tight ones.
They've been good this year. What are they coming?
They're third.
Are they third?
I'm just going to have a look at the papers here.
They're third in between Storm and Warriors.
Just give me a second here. I just feel like there was something in the paper today about the porn stars being porn stars for that reason. Let me just see here. Comeback Kings, there you go. Just trying to see if there's anything particularly about them being known for the comeback or whether that's me just taking the title for a walk. TLDR. That's too long, didn't read. But I feel like they've had a couple of like under the pump comeback situations. Who'd they play last week?
Titans.
Well, they had a win on the bell against when Huddy Young score that try, I think, after
they came back against the Titans last week as well. Same fucking thing.
They did.
Yeah.
That was a famous win they had down at GIO. I can't remember who that was against.
Against the Broncos?
Maybe.
No, they
Was it against the Sharks?
Sharks. It was the Sharkies.
Yeah. Sebi Chris.
Yep.
Comeback. Then against the Titans.
Huddy Young on an edge, just bamboozled to set the play up.
Back row weather.
Yeah, it was back row. It was like the 78th,
the last
79th
2
minute.
minutes of the game. Yeah, 78th minute.
Okay, good. They beat the Fish, who still... Listen, like, you don't want to be losing those games, but the Fish were looking like pure poo start of the year. It was a bit like... They lost their first 4 games, I think.
Yeah, yep.
Now, they beat the Broncos a week or so ago. Oh, no, they didn't. Did they beat the Broncos? They did, didn't they? They're looking better. I don't want the Fish to come last.
No one wants that. I tell you what, Ricky would just be... No one likes shutting up the naysayers more than Ricky Stewart, and when everyone had them coming last at the start of the year... He'd be dining out on this deluxe.
Yeah, he would. And rightly so. Because they're a good football team. And Matty Nicholson is the most Canberra player of all time. I believe he's English, which is obviously the first thing. But just one of those ones where you go like, there's no fanfare about the bloke and you've basically never heard of him and he just comes in and he's good. You go, okay, Canberra have just found some other fucking weapon from somewhere.
They're good at that.
Yeah.
They're whoever's running that little racket that they've got going on down there.
Yeah. And a racket it is. Sebi Chris, Canberra player. I don't know if Sebi Chris played anywhere else before, or if Sebi Chris is like just a Canberra,
it's
discovery,
a racket.
but it's a racket they got going down there. Zach Hoskins, racket. I know he was around, but he's a racket player for the Raiders.
He's been around.
He was at the Broncos.
Yeah,
he was.
The
Panthers.
He's at the Panthers. Born in Manly, I think.
Yeah.
No, Sebi Chris has just been at the Raiders.
There you go.
Yeah, so it's a racket. He's a racket player.
It's a racket.
He's a racket player. 40 to 20.
But like Zach Hoskins was not, like he started showing signs at Penrith, but like he was
off the pine though.
Pretty old as well, comparatively speaking.
How old is he?
He's 28.
Okay. Yeah, racket player.
Yeah.
But what Ricky does is he buys horses that no one wants.
Yeah.
He sees something in them.
Yeah.
He either buys them at the yearling sale and no one wants them because the pedigree's shit house and he turns them into something, or he buys horses that no one wants anymore because they couldn't win, but he knows how to get the best out of them.
Yeah. Jamal Fogarty was playing for the Titans,
Unwanted, unloved.
Yeah. Now he's coming to one of the biggest clubs in the NRL.
And Ricky's got him firing.
Yeah.
Firing all cylinders. Now he's got himself a 3-year deal, 2.1, apparently, if you believe the rumours. And Jamal's going to look after his family. Ricky's always said that.
Ricky's always said that. Jamal needs to look after his family.
Family first, and Ricky's always said that. He gets it, but he just hopes that there hasn't been anything untoward going on.
And I understand that. Ricky's family first himself.
He just wants to know that the sanctity of the game has been looked after at all times and that no one's doing anything to underwards in the background.
Yeah, to undermine the sanctity of the game.
Well, that's right, because you can't always trust a player manager.
No, you can't.
Big Ricky Stew.
No.
Final game. Tigers
get it done over the Sharks of weak underbelly fame.
Saw this coming personally. Not about me, but I did.
Yeah.
Good to see Lockie Gavin back in the side, just trying to put things to bed.
I think so too.
That try saver he made on fucking, you see that, the boots and all tap?
Oh, yeah,
against Hazelton?
Hazelton. Boots and all. Can't run without fucking boots, mate. It was a bootlaces tackle.
Yeah.
Bootlaces. Impressive stuff. As Matty John said, I think you just got to, let's just try and move past this thing,
I think we move on.
I think we just try and move on.
It was a bit out of control
He's
there.
either with you for 18 months or he's not, whatever.
I think everyone got emotional. I think everyone fired up. And I think now everyone's had a moment to calm down. Everyone was looking for something as well. Everyone loves a hot scandal. Everyone loves when, the popular kids at school are breaking up with each other or they're having relationship troubles and it's hot goss on the playground.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all this was. But now people, now the bell's rung and people are going to go to class.
Or people who got a weekend of sleep on it, and you come back and you just, which they have. They've had a weekend. You come back and you go and you see that, the hot couple's back together again.
Yeah. And we all said some shit.
Yeah, we all said some shit. Everyone's fucking moved past the handy and,
the hot couple's broken up, but now they're back together. But when they were broken up, your mate who was with her asked you what you thought. You said, she's a fucking bitch. She shouldn't be with her. Yeah. She did the same thing to her friends. Yeah. He's like, he's no good. Now they're back together and everyone's just going to pretend like none of that happened.
And that no one said anything.
No one said anything.
Even though you did. And that's the first lesson in life where you go, fucking keep your mouth shut.
Just don't say anything.
Because you're going to get found out, and at the end of the day, your mates really don't care about what your opinion is.
They just
so it's way less awkward if you don't say anything at all.
Correct.
And that's what they found out.
That's what they all found out because ultimately he's back in the side.
It's a schoolyard drama. Think about it. Like he comes to school with 7 reasons he hates Benji. That's schoolyard.
That's schoolyard shit.
Then the manager says he's getting bullied. Schoolyard shit. Yeah. Now he's back in the team. Oh, we're not picking you this week. Schoolyard shit. Now he's back in the team. Schoolyard shit. Make it a boots and all tackle. Now that's grown up stuff.
That's rugby league.
Good to see him get the win. Sharks soft underbelly. Been saying it for weeks. No one believes me.
Oh, yeah, they beat Manly. That doesn't mean you don't have a soft underbelly. Can we just acknowledge that?
Acknowledge it. Please acknowledge it.
It doesn't mean you don't have a soft underbelly. It means you beat a team off their game.
Also, you lost the Tigers.
But I also think it's fair to say Tigers are just a vastly different rugby league side, and I'd also like to give them their flowers. Cody Totes over there, working away feverishly.
He's dialed in, mate. He's plugged in.
Quick question to Cody, who's going to need to come over and find a microphone. Now, when this whole Galvin situation was really coming to a festery boil on the inner thigh of life for the Tigers fans, Cody did say, well, at least we've got Talon De Silva. That was his silver lining. De Silva lining. It was...
That was hanging there, wasn't it?
It was. Disappointed I didn't lead with it. Now, I did read somewhere over the weekend, forgive me for not crediting it because I don't remember where I saw it, but credit to us for always crediting where we can, was that I think Shane Richardson, or Richo as you guys like to call him, was like, oh yeah, we're almost resigned to losing Talon because we got to re-sign Appy. Cody.
I read that article too last week, and I can't remember it exactly off the top of my head, but I think it was misinterpreted.
Oh, okay.
I could be wrong there. It'd be maybe Tobler could have a look at that.
I've got the quote up here. I'll check it on screen.
How do you think it could be misinterpreted?
I can't remember exactly. I just remember that being my thoughts.
Okay, well that's...
So is there a De Silva lining or not? Talon doesn't want to move on, mate, Richardson said. Talon's decision, I think, will be based around what we do with Appy, and that's fair enough. He wants to play first grade. De Silva, like Gavin, could therefore be leaving the Tigers at the end of the 2026 season. Could be.
Also, I just didn't... wine his name.
I didn't take anything away from that.
So you didn't take anything away from that?
Apart from the fact that he wants to be there.
Right, but it's going to be based around what we do with Appy, which we're trying to re-sign.
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't feel like that doesn't make me feel sick inside like the whole Lockie thing did the whole time. I just feel kind of okay about this. I just don't think he'll leave.
That doesn't give you any cause for concern?
No, not really. I think he'll stay. Because there was an article from like 2 weeks ago that was like, I'm sweet. I'm happy playing behind Appy.
But for how long?
Yeah. That's the question.
Because he wants to play first grade, yeah?
Because he might be saying, I'm happy to play behind him now, as in like currently, as in the present moment.
Yeah.
But in 2027, do I want to be playing behind Appy? No, probably not.
Yeah, I don't know. It's something to watch for sure. It'd be interesting to see what happens. I would be gutted if we lost Talon. Gutted.
He's a good little player.
I'd be, yeah, that would hurt.
He's really a good style of a bloke.
He's gone. He's so good.
Got some brows on him that'll sit you back in your chair, I'll tell you that.
Well, you can set your watch to those sort of brows.
You can set your watch to the brows, but they'll knock you off your feet if you catch them at the right angle.
Yeah. You can always find North with eyebrows like that.
Yeah.
That's just an old bushman's trick.
True North.
Yeah.
True North.
No,
not
magnetic North.
True North.
Yeah. It's the only North I'm interested in.
It's the only North I pay attention to, mate, is True North.
Yeah.
And that can be found
using Talon De Silva's eyebrows. If you know how to wrangle it.
Well, you got to know how to do it, though, right? It's bushman shit, and it's passed down from generation to generation. Now, some of you might say, "Well, was talent around?"
It's like finding. It's like fucking. It's like a what do they call water diviner? Like finding water with an old bloody rod.
Correct.
Same thing.
You can find True South using the Southern Cross and
a doot.
Good day, daylights, vitamins, hydration.
Hydration and vitamins. Vitamins and hydration. If you want to take a little bit more care of yourself, we have just made it too fucking easy for you. Box of 30 sachets. You can do it with your eyes closed, literally. You know, like I know you're not doing enough. You know you're not doing enough. If you're on the fence about it, go read the reviews. There's over 1,000 5-starries. It's legit.
Yeah.
The people agree.
It's a simple way to make yourself a little bit better and just to try and help you a step in the right direction.
Can't tell you how easy it is. Use the code Dribblers rather for 10% off. Pair it with subscription with Good Day for 20% off. Just start making a change.
Daylight's good day. BeGoodHealth.com.au. Bears back in the comp, Ed.
Maybe.
Pretty much.
Looking like it.
Pretty much.
Looking like it.
It's pretty much. It'd be pretty crook if it, like, even Sam Perry of the great cricketer and the circus fame, of massive Bears fan fame, put up something in his stories of, like, the Bears.
Okay. And he's not one to go early.
Mate, I tried to get him on ages ago, and he's like, I've seen this thing go south before, bro. Not yet.
Yeah.
And he's even celebrating it. Now, he may have fucked up here.
So it'd be in the realm of the cruel if it was not to happen.
It feels like it would be the height of cruelty to
real
all
Cruella
concerned.
de Vil sort of stuff.
Yeah, dude.
You know, puppies for a coat.
Puppies
sort of
for a coat, 101 Dalmatians on the chopping block.
Which I always thought was overs. That's a big coat.
It's a lot of Dalmatians. There'd be some offcuts.
It's too many.
You'd make a couple of coats, wouldn't you?
Fucking hell. You could rug up a whole footy side.
I guess they were puppies, which obviously heightens the cruelty but lessens the amount of coat.
If you skinned 101 Dalmatians, you'd have a fucking lot to work with.
Yeah, you would. But I wonder how much in the coat process
is lost. Well, it's a great point. Oh, geez, I hope they haven't done that off life.
I don't know what that means.
As in, like, we tested it and that's the number. 101.
Oh, as in, like, yeah, we know how many puppies it goes into making. It was written during those times.
That's what I mean.
When coats were sweet to be made of puppies, you know?
Cruella de Vil's she's a hell of an antagonist.
Oh, she's one of the great bitches in television film history.
She was a real cow.
Oh, she was.
Yeah.
Moo stuff.
Moo. What are we talking about?
We're talking about the Bears being back in the competition.
Oh, right. Yeah, like, good on you.
Yeah. What about the sin bins, mate?
18, mate.
18 sin bins, mate.
Mate, well, you've heard what Roo said, haven't you?
No, yeah, what Joey said, have you?
Mate, Roo reckons if they're fair income about the game of rugby league, then they need to have a look at it before the biggest round of the year, Magic Round, this coming up. He doesn't want the fans who have spent thousands to basically have their weekends ruined.
Yeah. I wonder whether they've done it before Magic Round to, like, not have to do it. Not have to do it during, because they usually only do it for like a week. These fucking stupid crackdowns. They usually do it for a week.
Is this a case of make yourself look busy?
I wonder whether it's a case of if we
justify your job.
Well,
sort of
no,
stuff?
but it's like if and when former players decide they want to sue the NRL for head trauma, whether the NRL is going to be able to lean on like just a general amount of number of sin bins or actions taken for head trauma per season, say.
Mate,
whether they'd be able to go like, oi, we need to pick a couple of rounds. This is obviously some tinfoil hat stuff. Pick a couple of rounds where we go absolutely bananas on it, get a bunch of them sent off, and then, so we just got some numbers here for litigatory purposes.
Well, it's a question for a legal eagle.
Yes. Shout out to our lawyer, Izzy Carey, lawyer to the stars.
I mean, yeah, I get that for sure. 18 seems like a lot though.
Seems like fucking heaps. That's what I'm trying to work out, though. Do you just...
Because I was under the impression that
and some of them were utter horseshit.
If there was no mitigating circumstances, that's when the send-off would happen. But if there was, then they wouldn't send them off, but they have been.
But not just have been, they've been going back, like the bunk has been going...
Like when old mate came on, when our friend, Abdo, went on...
Drew,
yeah. He
call
went
him Drew.
on 360, if memory serves.
After us.
And was talking about how if there's not mitigate, there's got to be mitigating. If there isn't mitigating circumstances, then it's off. But if there is, and
yeah, as opposed to what Buzzley Rothfield reported, which was one touch to the head and you're done. It seems like Buzz is actually right because, dude, Takiaho got sin-binned for basically hitting the guy's bumpers, and he just went, he didn't even fucking hit him. Tommy Turbo gets his head clean taken off by Isaiah Yeo. He didn't even get charged. Isaiah Yeo literally split Tommy open.
Good bloke though, Isaiah. Does that come into it?
Fuck no. Not in my book, mate.
No, I'm saying, does it come into their book?
Probably.
Seemingly.
Ornament to the game sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Don't get Isaiah, mate. Even though Tommy Turbo, an ornament.
Is Isaiah a protected species,
It's a protected species, mate. But he split Tommy Turbo.
Split him wide open.
Isaac Hardman style.
Shout out to the head splitter, one of the greats, new friend of ours. I don't think that this will continue week after week. I think this is a craze that the NRL likes to go through where they crack down for a couple of weeks and then take the pedal off, which then makes me think why even bother doing it in the first place. It's hard to answer. All we talk about, I think, sometimes is refereeing decisions. And part of me, as I start to see more Winters, thinks that that's just always going to be the case.
Yeah, but you can't have 18 cards in a round and tell me there isn't a bloody...
What I mean by that is the refereeing seems to... There are bizarre decisions. And weeks like this where there's 18 sin bins, you put down to the highly bizarre. Like, what's that all about?
You think it's just bizarre. You think it's just more like, oh, this is just like sometimes Leicester City's going to win the Premier League.
No, what I'm saying is you just need to accept, I think, that the refereeing is going to be fucking weird and, like, unpredictable. And they'll go in and out of these weird crackdowns.
Right, but the crackdown is the thing, though. At least what I'm saying. You aren't inferring that there isn't a crackdown. This is just a happenstance situation. This isn't a coincidence.
What I'm saying is I don't think many people would agree with the crackdown. Fucking annoying. 18 sin bins too many. But you always going to make your peace with the fact that they're going to fucking do shit like that.
Abdo came out this afternoon and said that they've seen a huge increase in the number of high tackles. So last year, up until round 8, they had 200 high tackles. Now they've had 380. And
how's that determined though? Because if that's determined by crackdown, then yeah, sure. But there are probably some tackles that don't need to be deemed as such.
Is that what they're saying?
He did also come out and say that he thinks there has been too much intervention, and so they're going to work on that. Especially when it gets called back after there's been a few tackles since the incident.
He also mentions here that there was a round a few weeks ago where there's a lot of high tackles missed, so he thinks it might be a slight over-correction in the other way.
That was the round when Buzz came out and said that, and then he ended up on 360.
Yeah.
So, but is he implying that people there's too upright and have become more upright?
He's implying that, like, he's calling on the players and clubs as well to be more disciplined.
Lower your tackling height.
Yeah. Because they're seeing such an increase in high tackles. I don't know whether or not they've changed the criteria.
If I was to play devil's advocate or supportive of the NRL, the boys tackle high. Like they're not giving themselves much room for error.
No,
let's be honest,
because they want to wrap the ball up.
Exactly, they're not giving themselves much room for error at all.
But then I believe maybe
they will constantly go right up high.
But then
what
about
high.
the people that get concussed from tackling, from making the tackle? Boyd Cordner comes to mind. And you're getting down there and you're getting low and you're trying to tackle someone like Jason Taumalolo in his prime who's got footwork late.
And knees up.
And you get down. I think didn't Tupanua knee someone in the head on the weekend or the week before? But like you get down low to make a tackle on Jason Taumalolo who steps late and you end up tackling his knees. What do you want me to do here, brah?
I don't know what I'm talking about, but could you go for the mid?
The tum.
Could you go for the tum?
Where the ball is, where the bumper bars are?
Yeah.
Still going to be getting bumper barred, lad.
I don't have a solution, by the way, at all.
No. Nor do I.
But a lot of people that have played the game are like, there's nothing you can do about it, which I also find interesting.
Well, they're saying that you're being too liberal with the cards. Like, relax, calm the fuck down. Joey Johns almost bloody popped a blood vessel in his head, and I was worried.
But in what I mean by that, it's completely unavoidable.
Is Russell Crowe in Craven the Hunter?
Just quickly though, what are your thoughts on the tackles where, like you say, they go a little bit high, but the shoulder-to-shoulder contact causes the ball player to have his head whipped forward, and they say that that's a head high.
Yeah, I'm with you.
See, I thought that was considered mitigating and shouldn't have been a
That's
card.
what happened to Takiyaho. He's just hit shoulder to shoulder. The guy's head's popped forward.
I understand, but I'm sure that Abdo basically inferred when he went on 360 that wouldn't be a send-off.
Yes, but that's not what's been happening.
I know. So what the fuck's going on?
Yeah. Like if back fence Brown brings it back off the back fence.
He actually does go off the
with
back fence.
serious speed. And then when he's getting met and his head whips forward into a shoulder, that's on back fence. Like even I can acknowledge that. If you're going to run that hard, dude, and you get hit by someone.
If you're going to be about that back fence
You're about that back fence life, which you are, and I'm proud of you for it. You Google back fence, you will see a photo of Nathan Brown.
Well, there's literally videos on TikTok of him trucking it off the fence.
Of course, that's where he starts.
Yep. Back fence Brown. But if you're gonna talk that back fence life, you're gonna walk that back fence life.
And so you got to realize that there are people coming to meet you.
Yep.
And if your head whips forward into a shoulder, that's just part of the back fence life.
Yeah. Yeah. And maybe the NRL don't get that.
It seems like they don't get it. Listen, the C-suite ain't about the back fence life.
The C-suite haven't been down to the back fence once in their life.
No.
They don't know about that back fence life.
They don't get it.
They don't even know where it is.
And you need to have some idea.
And they don't know about the cats that spend their time down
No,
there.
they don't. They don't want to know.
They don't want to know about those dogs down that back fence.
The back fence cats and dogs.
Because those boys and girls don't give a fuck.
No, they don't.
You can't. If you're reared in the tough streets of the back fence. It's brutal back there.
No, it is brutal in the back fence, mate. It's brutal down there. But,
Panels missing and shit, you know?
Oh, well, of course there are, mate. You think the cats get in? You hear Piastri's topping the bloody... Did he win again? I don't even know. Bit of bloody SuperCoach, thanks to our good friends at SwiftX. Now, who won this week? I should have won this week, dude. I honestly think I could have won. So if you sign up with SwiftX...
You could have won the whole week.
I think I could have won the week,
How many
dude.
points did you get?
I got 1,363, and I had fucking Iongi as my flex. He didn't play because they had a bye. And I had Tommy Dearden on the bench, and I didn't have him as a reserve, and he got 138 or something. I would have been close to 1,500s. I could have won the whole goddamn week.
What got the chockies, Tobler?
I'm just having a quick look.
Thanks to our mates at SwiftX.
Now, you can't join our SuperCoach League anymore because it's closed. What, about 6,000 in there, Toby?
Yep, just over 6,000.
6,000. So each week, the winner, so we do this segment every second week, right?
Yes.
So the winner gets $50 dues in Bitcoin into their SwiftX account. Who won it last week? If you can find that, or the last time we did
The week
this,
before they emailed me.
Yeah,
Did you get that? I flicked it over to you, Tobler.
I did. That was Nelson with Fajitas for Heaters.
Fajitas
Took
won the
out round
$50.
6
But
this week.
hold on a second, Tobler. If you sign up using the link in the show notes in the bio at Al, you will immediately get $20 worth of Bitcoin into your account to kick off your trading journey.
Yeah. Thanks to our friends at SwiftX and us, obviously.
Now, who's won the? Oh, and also, if you win our whole league, you win $5,000 in Bitcoin.
Yeah. Which is a lot of money.
That's a shitload.
That's a fuckload.
Yeah.
So congrats. Tobler, take it away.
So the winner of this week, who scored 1,613 points,
You weren't winning it, lad.
No.
was Harrison. Team name 5Pete.
1,613.
He went ballistic.
Can we look at his team?
Yeah, I'm getting the team up now.
Get your team up, Ed.
That is fucked up.
1,000.
Here we go. 613. So he captained Scotty Drink as his flex with it for 130 points. which got him off to a flyer. He had Tedesco, who got 128.
Paps, Drinky, Teddy, Billy Smith, Purdue, Marju, Carraz, Tamale and Garrick on the bench, Munster, Cleary, Nico on the bench, Tino, Olakawatu and Katoa. Holy fuck, that's a back row. Slow down, Tobbs. 106 for Hamole. Payne Haas, 123. Taylor May, 118. Sandon Smith at hooker. Did not know he was a hooker as well. That's interesting.
Got 129, didn't play him.
Didn't ya?
Nah.
How many? What'd you get?
I actually
round
thought to
score?
myself, fuck, I'm going to put Sandon Smith in because
That sounds like something you didn't do.
because
and
the
you're just
Rabbitohs are
saying
playing
now.
the Dragons. Completely left my mind. Completely left it until I fucking watched the game. Like, I'll have a little look. Sandon Smith, 129, great. Terrific. 1273 I got, Tom. It's okay.
So that's good.
It's pretty good.
It's not 1363 with Dearden getting 143. What's that math, Edward? So it would have been 40. I would have almost got 1400, dude. That would have been my biggest score of all time.
Well, you didn't. So that's, it is what
No,
it is.
but I still got 1363, right? Still did. I tell you what, Taylor May and Payne Haas both getting in the tons is nice. I mean, I know everyone's got them, so it's not like it's. I assume you have both of those in your front row.
I've got who?
Payne Haas and Taylor May.
I do, yeah.
Yeah, right. Both getting hundos. You got Schmolle?
Yep.
Of course you do.
Of course I do.
Do you have, and this is I feel like this might be my ace in me bum hole,
Yep.
is Adam Reynolds at halfback.
I've got Cleary at halfback.
I got rid of him. The team stinks. And you know what, dude? I feel lighter.
Do you?
I feel lighter.
He's like, he averages 67.4.
The team sucks.
But you're coming dead last. So that's something you cannot ignore.
No.
You just can't ignore
I
the fact
feel
you're coming.
so much lighter. Matty
can't
Nicholson,
ignore the fact
good
you're coming
style of
dead
a
low.
bloke as well. Sorry, just wanted to throw in Matty Nicholson.
Oh, you mean M. Nicholson for,
Yeah.
for the Canterbury
Yeah,
Raiders.
not the Canterbury Raiders, no.
The Canterbury Raiders.
No, yeah, I didn't.
Costing
mean
552,000.3.
Yeah.
Averaging 66.6. Bit of the devil about the
Oh,
kid.
bit of the devil about old Matty Nicks.
70 points on the weekend. Yeah, I've got him.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, great.
But you don't have Adam Reynolds at 125.
No, I don't.
Because is that a pod player, ladies and gentlemen? Is that my pod?
Well, I don't know how many people own him.
I don't know, Tolber. I'm looking at you.
Like, if 50% of the comp own him, then no.
So it's got a bit less than 50?
Well, I think a point of difference means not many people have him. And if half
I'm saying if it's less than half.
I think it's got to be like 10% or under. That's what I think.
Find out for me, Tobbs.
I'm looking right
What do
now.
you reckon constitute as a POD, Tobler? Less than 10%?
Surely.
Surely.
Let's ask Roo. Let's see what Roo has to say for himself.
He's in 23% of teams. That's not a pod.
I reckon that is 23%.
One
Just
in five?
say to Rugo, what constitutes a pod percentage-wise?
1 in 5's.
Let's just call the fucker. Way easier.
You're also guaranteed a response or guaranteed to know if he's not going to answer.
Oh,
There you go. So now we know.
Cody, what percentage of ownership constitutes a pod player in SuperCoach?
oh wow.
So Tom's 50, not doing the job.
50?
You were I
was asking,
Yeah,
and he's
right.
saying 20%.
Yeah.
I think 20% might be.
No. There you go.
That hurts.
20's really high. Tom. Oh,
Okay, I'll put it this
trying
way.
to sell Reynolds as a pod at the market's fame.
Yeah. Under 10. Okay.
There you go.
Well,
So I
listen.
was.
Yeah, that's all right.
spot on.
Listen, I'm happy to be wrong. What I would say is this.
You are wrong. Yep.
I said I'm happy to be wrong.
Right.
What
So how are you going to justify it?
I haven't just, you didn't let me speak.
No, I'm interested.
Have I got a room to speak now?
I'm interested.
So you're going to spit in my mouth, bloody, kick-on style. All I'm saying is for me personally, for my own personal brand and the goers, I'm happy with my halfback being owned by only 20% of other teams.
25.
25. Give me 25. I don't give a fuck.
Well, you're lying. That's all.
I'm not lying. I'm generalising.
Okay.
And they're different things. I'm happy with that. And I consider it a pod because most teams don't have him. So it's a point of difference. You don't have him. And you got 125.
Good for you, mate.
Shout out to everyone who owns him, though.
Yeah.
Us brave souls who are just looking for a point of difference.
And a Swift X.
And a Swift X.
Best in the business.
Where are you ranked? Can we see that? Where are you ranked in the league?
Where are you?
You first, mate.
Yeah, okay.
I actually don't think I'm doing great.
In our league, I'm coming 3,675th.
Okay. I'm coming 4,085.
Right, so we're going poorly. We're going really poorly. But there's plenty of time to turn it around.
Heaps
Just
of
a bit of a
time.
slow start. If you win them early, not winning them late, switch on. Read a book.
Did you get wins, though, on the weekend?
Yep. Not in our About Even league, I didn't.
Who
But I
against?
got one in another league. I beat Harry Solomon. You've heard of him.
Yes.
Beat him by a point.
Okay.
By one point. Actually, no, I beat the Throbberoos, Ben, in About Even. Is he random that's been added in?
Yeah.
Throbberoos is a good name.
That is a good name.
He obviously gets it
Yeah, of course he does.
with a name like that.
I beat Superfly Shenko in the About Even group, another random.
There you go.
And I beat Snake Lads in some random public group I was added to that I didn't intend on being added to. Anyway, loving me SuperCoach.
Is that it?
I think that's us. No dribbles today because we're running a bit behind time.
Well, we're running very behind time.
Yep.
So
I
that,
gotta pick up my car.
Tommy's going to get his car. Is what it is.
Before we go, just wanted to shout out a friend of mine, Gij, lost one of his mates recently to suicide, which is obviously very very sad. And they have got a GoFundMe, which is raising money in memory of their mate Sean. I'm just reading it here. I'm just trying to. What is the website, Tobler, that they go to? We'll just put it in the show notes, maybe.
Yeah, I'll put it in the show notes. But if you Google Sean Wilson, my apologies, Beyond Blue, it'll come up with the website, but it'll also be in the show notes.
Yep. Very sad. Thinking of everyone that knew him. Apparently he was a dribbler. But yeah, very sad. Talk to your friends, dribblers. Talk to your mates. Anyway, we'll leave you with that. Make sure to come along and see us on Friday at Magic Round. We can't wait to get up there.
Better be there.
Have a rip with ya.
Better be there.
Manly Seagulls back on top.
How good's rugby?
How good's Rugby League?
All right.
Ciao.
Could you two just not talk anymore?